Alright guys, what we're going to do is do a little demonstration on how to make a simple snowshoe. Nothing fancy. Like I said, I'm kind of a cheapskate, so I don't like spending a lot of money for something. So, just want to do it with stuff that I have, materials that I have, and stuff that's readily accessible to me. As you can see, trudging around in deep snow like this is a real pain if you have to go any length of distance. So I'm hoping that making a set of snowshoes will at least get me up on top of the snow and allow me to make an easier trek through the woods. Now, you don't need a lot of material. What I used was pretty simple. I just need a thin branch or of the stalk of the trunk of a tree, of a very young tree, something about a ½ inch or so thick. It's got to be green so that it can be flexible, make it a little easier to bend it. Need some chicken wire, which is really easy to obtain. You can borrow a roll of it from your brother-in-law like I did. Need a little bit of string or twine to hold the frame together initially, and maybe some duct tape to bind it together on that. And then some old cloth, like an old bed sheet or something that you can run into strips, so you can use it to lace through the shoe. And then finally, I haven't perfected the bindings yet, but I'm going to just basically try to tie them on, so we'll see how that goes too. So that's what you're going to need. And first thing we're going to do right now is look for a appropriate tree or branch that we can use to shape our frame, make our frame with. So we'll look for that right now. Well, let's go with this one. We'll clean it up, and it's definitely green. All right, so in order to bend the stick that we cut into the shape of the frame, it needs to be pliable enough to bend it. And to do that, it really helps to heat it up. So what I've done is I just laid this on the stove, on my nice hot wood stove here, and we're just going to let it sit there, get nice and hot, and really I'm heating it up in the area where I know I'm going to put the first major bend. And then as I do this, I'm going to keep heating it and keep bending it. So, but it's really important that you heat it up. It makes the wood a lot more pliable. If you try to bend it like it is now, especially being out in the near 0 degrees, it will snap on you. So don't do that. So we've heated the stick for about 10 minutes on the very hot wood stove, and what was already a flexible stick is now very, very flexible. So I'm going to use it at the beginning of this to just kind of start bending it. And I have a strap here that I use. It's a cinching strap. It's got a I can't remember what this is called, but it's got the buckle here so you can tighten it up. And I'm going to use that to help me hold the bend in my bend. So you want to make sure we don't bend it sharply in any one section of the stick. So we're going to start here. Loosen up a little bit more. Actually, this is made it quite flexible having it on this heat. And we'll get just a good start here. Now I kind of not sure how this is going to end up. I'll just kind of go with what the stick wants to do. But we'll just get started here and kind of force the bend in real areas. This one's got, see, right here wants to bend real tight, so I'm just going to kind of work it out a little bit right here too. I'm not sure why it's bending so tight right there, so I'm going to kind of give it a rest and let it sit right here. And we'll let it sit like this, let it take a set, and then we'll reheat it and just bend it and go through the same process to get it bent into the shape we want. This is about as wide as I want to make this. This is probably a little too wide, but I want to make it about that shape, so that's what we're going for here. So got about half of that. So we'll keep working on it until it gets into the position we want. Alright, I've got it bent so it's around in a circle now. You got to make sure you do this really slowly, because if you do it too fast, you'll snap the stick. I know I've said that already, but you don't want to rush this or else it will snap the stick. So I'm just getting it so I can kind of get it in a loop. And I'll just take my time and keep working at it so I can pull this around, this one around here. I'll heat it up, let it set a little bit, heat it up, let it set, and just keep working it around. Okay, I finally gotten it to where I can meet the ends, and I've kind of looped it around like this so that I can hold the two pieces together and then still cinch it from here, like that. So I can still kind of progressively begin to bend it, and we're getting closer to our shape. So we're almost there, almost there. So I just kind of squish it down a little more, and then we'll bind the sides, trim it, and go at putting the fence on. All right, so I've gotten it the size and shape pretty much that I want. Flex a little bit over here because it's kind of flat, and this one kinked a lot more on me. I think it's because the wood wasn't as clean and straight. But anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lash these two sides right here, and I'll just lash it with some jute or twine, and then I'll take the straps off, so that'll hold it in place, and then we'll get on to the webbing and the framework of it. Okay, so this is the finished frame, and I've cut a piece of chicken wire so that it overlaps the frame enough to wrap it around the frame, the stick of the frame there. So that what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take and I'm going to, each one of these little barbed wire things, I'm going to actually take it and wrap around and tie it to the other side so that it wraps around the whole frame. Okay, so the last thing to do is to put the strips on. I just tore a strip off of a bed sheet, old bed sheet that I had, and we're just going to basically lace it up like this, so we give us some surface area to support. My son's tying up the other ones. Okay, both snowshoes are done, and let's put the bindings on now, and then we'll take them outside. Forgot how to tie my shoes. All right, here goes nothing. Try it in the snow. Not too bad, although the way I have it bound to my feet, it makes it want to kick around a little bit. I probably could use a little bit of a more secure toe binding, moving around on me a little bit, so I might have to change that up a little bit. But the function basically works. You see on top of the snow is about a foot or so deep, maybe even more. Not bad. Keeping my pants dry. I think with maybe a few more adjustments to the bindings, we're good to go. Okay, yesterday I went out and tried my snowshoes, and saw a video of that, and it actually worked okay. Two problems with it. Number one, the bindings weren't quite tight enough on the toe, so my shoe was kind of flopping around a little bit. I mean, made it a little harder to walk, which is why I was walking like a duck. And second of all, after I brought them in, I noticed that the weight of my body had actually stretched out the fencing, which in retrospect makes sense. It's not going to support all that weight forever. So what I did was I modified the shoes one more time, and today I put them on so that I got some supports for my toe and then for my heel, so that the weight of my body is actually being put down on the frame of the shoe and not on just the fencing. Even though the fencing is pretty rigid, pretty stiff, all that flexing with the weight will eventually stretch it out and make it not work. So that is the modified design. We're going to try it out again, modify the bindings a little bit. Okay, so this is trial number 2, having the cross braces on my shoes and a little bit, an extra binding on my toe to keep my toe a little more fixed. So here we go. Much better. It definitely kicks up a lot of snow when I walk. I think I'm gonna have to put my feet at dead center of the shoe, so I might have to walk a little straddle-footed, but it definitely works. Because it's making me kind of kick out like this when I walk now. Okay. My heel kind of came off the back there, so not too bad though, much better than it was. Alright, so final analysis of the snowshoes. You can check out the video I made of us doing an overnight in -degree temps. I used these for about 2 hours solid, gathering wood and going around the snow and cutting trails. They worked really well. A few things: the chicken wire pretty much busts to pieces because that's where I threaded the cross members through. So this kind of fell apart. The chicken wire honestly is not necessary. If I bind these, make it a little narrower, we'll be fine. But all in all, it worked out really well. I was able to traipse through the woods, grab big pieces of firewood, drag them out of the woods, cross the stream a couple times. So the design has promise, but I probably will make them narrower next time and bind these and just skip the chicken wire and just put the cloth, just wrap it around the frame itself. So that's my first attempt. We'll see if there's a second, and until then, adios.